The California Mental Health Directors Association is an advocacy and policy statewide organization that represents all 58 county mental health directors, and we bring county mental health directors together so that they can collectively advocate and advise us on policy positions that we should be taking on their behalf in advocating with the legislature, mostly the legislature and the administration, on policy issues that affect the community.
Well, actually, that is my main job from my perspective, and I see it as a two-way street. First, as a director, I need to plug into where the information and the sources of information. So for me to be involved with the California Mental Health Directors Association, with the Joint Powers Association Authority, coming to the strategic planning meetings that the governing board offers the Directors Association, I can really get my finger on the pulse of what's happening. Then I can go back to my county and I can have intelligent conversations with my county administrative officer and with some of the board members from the governing body. Of course, they're going to vote on any contracts or major projects that we want to do, so it's important that I'm on the same page that they are and they understand what we want to do. Then within the department itself, there's really several strategies. One is the Mental Health Board, and again, that's an advisory body to us that I want to be able to impart information to them about what's happening, what's on the horizon. And within the agency, the Quality Improvement Committee, and you might think, well, that's a clinical body. What does that have to do with policy? But really, it has a lot to do with policy, and it is what shapes the direction of the agency in terms of clinical practices. But oftentimes, policy decisions will affect clinical delivery.
I see it as a very active role in identifying the need for policy changes, for trying to stimulate discussion and the development of policy. I became very aware very early in my career that policy determines what and how I can do a lot of things. And without appropriate policy, there are huge barriers that really impact the quality and level of services we can provide. So I think I learned that you ignore the development of policy at the risk of the people you are seeking to serve. And you just won't have the resources to deliver the services that are needed unless you pay very close attention to policy.
Well, in developing policy for our department, and essentially it is really about tying together what the client's needs are, what our resources are, and then communicating that to our governing board so that they understand what those needs are, and really sort of give us the resources and the flexibility to implement programs to really help our clients.
Our job as public officials is to implement the laws and regulations. It's our job as professionals to bring the best practices and the best information about what really makes a difference in people's lives. And I think also the best processes, the most collaborative and involved processes where the connection to the people who are receiving our services is strong and vital, and where we're really well informed, not just kind of making things up in theory, but really connecting in with the people that we serve. Are these in fact useful services? Is it making a difference in your life? And we can take often an objective look at that, just with the sort of indicators of how's their housing look, do they have something interesting to do during the day, are they staying out of trouble with the law, are they developing friendships and other kinds of things. But also we really want to talk to people directly about how do they feel about what we're doing and how can we improve that. And so to me, policy is both sort of this rule-driven policy, state policy level interaction with legislators, etc. But if that's not really grounded in and fed by the people that we're really wanting to help out, then it's not as effective as it could be. So, and I see myself as kind of a connector person in those two worlds.
I see the role of the mental health director in policy as providing a culture of change, not only for the staff and contractors, but also for the whole community in which I see it as putting the community back into community mental health. I also think that advocating for the philosophy of recovery, that individuals with mental illnesses can live meaningful, satisfying, and full lives, that seeing that concept is woven into policy decisions is part of the role of the mental health director.
So sometimes you have opposing views within the community. And if you have to come to a prioritization based on funding or based on resources, somebody's always going to walk away feeling not heard or hurt or not respected, and managing that is difficult. So being able to continue a conversation, I think, has been difficult. And then there's some community folks who occasionally really want things that are antithetical to recovery, and respecting their view from their experience, where they're very scared of experiences that they've had or a loved one has had, but explaining how recovery really is going to help move the whole system forward. That's been difficult in some places, and I think it's been a challenge to keep that conversation going. So many layers of public policy. There's the local, the state, the federal, and then there's the micro layers of policy around how an individual practitioner treats the consumer they're seeing in the moment. But as far as public policy, I think really we need to be the spokesperson for the needs of our community and help determine how we can drive public policy to better meet those needs. I think really bottom line, that's where it comes. Students go into social work or psychology because they have a passion for something. They don't just pick it because they think they're going to get paid well, and if they think that, they need to go find a new job. But they're going with a reason. So if your passion is to deal with people and you want to be effective as a practitioner, policy so envelops all that. We were having the discussion the other day with some camp people that private practice is so minimal now, and yeah, you can do private practice, but really the game is within a larger health system, public health, primary care, whatever, and if you don't understand the policies that inform that, you're not going to be able to really serve your folks well. So as an individual, you can inform it by learning what your client needs, what you as a staff person need to do, and help keep that information flowing back to the decision makers. We get so caught up in regulations and politics and trying to meet the needs of the entire system that we need that information flow from the line staff up about what's working and what isn't. And so one person can say some random thing that will maybe make us think about our whole system in a different way. Mm-hmm. So that's hugely important. And I really depend on the new people coming into the system to have those fresh ideas, mm-hmm. and to be educated about the system, but to bring new ideas and problem solve with us.
Great.